Hi. We will be discussing today about impacts of addiction. It can have a profound and far-reaching impact on a person's daily life. The specific effects can vary depending on the substance or behavior one is addicted to, but here are some common ways addiction can affect daily life.
Let's start with substance addiction, particularly drug and alcohol abuse. The harmful effects of these substances can lead to significant damage in our bodies. For instance, alcohol addiction often results in liver damage, a condition known as cirrhosis, where healthy liver tissue is replaced by scar tissue, impeding the liver's vital functions. Additionally, the impact on our respiratory system cannot be understated. Chronic drug and alcohol abuse can cause conditions like chronic bronchitis or even lung cancer. If smoking is combined with alcohol addiction, it can further exacerbate respiratory problems. But the harm doesn't stop there. Addiction increases the risk of heart disease. Heavy drinking and drug abuse contribute to high blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, and weakened heart muscles, which can significantly raise the chances of cardiovascular issues. Now, let's shift our focus to behavioral addictions, such as compulsive gambling and excessive eating. Gambling addiction can lead to extreme stress, sleep disturbances, and physical ailments like headaches and stomach problems. Excessive eating, often associated with emotional eating, can result in obesity, which is linked to a range of health issues. These include diabetes, heart disease, and joint problems, just to name a few. The physical health consequences of addiction are severe and, in some cases, life-threatening. It's essential to understand that addiction goes beyond the immediate gratification of substances or behaviors. It infiltrates our bodies and can lead to long-term health problems.
Addiction is often accompanied by mental health problems, which can include depression, anxiety, and increased stress. Let's delve deeper into this complex relationship. Depression is a frequent companion to addiction. Those ensnared in the throes of addiction often experience overwhelming feelings of hopelessness and despair. The addictive substance or behavior might provide temporary relief, but it is often followed by deeper lows, worsening the symptoms of depression. Anxiety, too, is a common issue. The relentless preoccupation with the addictive substance or behavior, combined with the fear of not being able to access it, can generate high levels of anxiety. Individuals struggling with addiction may endure panic attacks, restlessness, and a constant sense of unease. Moreover, addiction brings with it a heavy burden of increased stress. The need to sustain the addiction can lead to financial problems, strained relationships, and potential legal issues. These stresses not only exacerbate the addiction itself, but also contribute to a worsening mental state. The guilt and shame associated with addiction can also take a severe toll on mental health. Individuals caught in the cycle of addiction often grapple with self-loathing, feeling as though they've lost control over their lives.
Addiction is not a solitary battle. It ripples through our lives, straining and, in some cases, devastating the relationships we hold dear. Let's take a closer look at how this unfolds. One of the most visible signs of the strain addiction puts on relationships is unreliability. The relentless craving to satisfy the addiction often leads to repeated neglect of commitments and responsibilities, whether it's missing family gatherings, failing to show up for social events with friends, or not keeping promises made to a romantic partner. Unreliability creates a growing divide between the addicted individual and their loved ones. Deception becomes an unfortunate coping mechanism. Addicts may resort to lying about the extent of their addiction or the substances they're using, believing that it's necessary to maintain their habit. These lies erode trust within relationships, making it increasingly challenging for loved ones to believe or rely on the person struggling with addiction. In some cases, the desperation to sustain an addiction can drive individuals to take drastic actions that fundamentally undermine trust. Theft or financial manipulation can become a harsh reality as people resort to taking money or valuable possessions from their loved ones. These actions not only cause financial strain, but also inflict deep emotional wounds that are difficult to heal. The result of these actions is a painful and pervasive loss of trust within the relationships. Family members, friends, and romantic partners begin to doubt the reliability and honesty of the person grappling with addiction. This loss of trust creates an atmosphere of uncertainty and hurt, making it challenging for these relationships to thrive.
Let me address a hidden but profoundly significant aspect of addiction, one that often remains obscured by the more visible consequences: the devastating impact of addiction on our finances. Funding an addiction can be alarmingly expensive, causing individuals to allocate a significant portion of their income to substances or activities, with profound repercussions, including financial instability and, in the gravest cases, even bankruptcy. Substance addiction, whether it's to drugs or alcohol, is notorious for its financial toll. The relentless need to purchase these substances can rapidly deplete an individual's financial resources. People often find themselves allocating substantial amounts of their income just to maintain their addiction, frequently at the expense of essential living costs. Behavioral addictions can be just as financially ruinous. Consider compulsive gambling. For instance, it can result in colossal financial losses as individuals chase the next big win in a desperate attempt to recoup their losses. Excessive eating, particularly when it involves frequent dining out or purchasing expensive, unhealthy foods, can also contribute to substantial financial strain. In the most severe cases, addiction can push individuals into the abyss of bankruptcy, a dire situation in which they are unable to meet their financial obligations. Bankruptcy carries long-lasting consequences, impacting credit scores and the ability to secure loans or housing in the future. The impact of addiction on finances is undeniable, and it serves as a stark reminder that this struggle goes far beyond health and well-being. It reaches deep into the pockets and wallets of those affected.
I would like to continue our exploration of the multifaceted impact of addiction by delving into the occupational and educational consequences, legal issues, and the neglect of responsibilities that often accompany addiction. These aspects of addiction not only affect the individual but reverberate through their personal and social spheres. Occupational and educational consequences. Addiction is not confined to one's personal life. It spills over into professional and educational domains. These are some of the consequences. 1. Absenteeism and poor performance. As addiction tightens its grip, it often results in increased absenteeism and a noticeable drop in performance at work or school. The relentless pursuit of the addictive substance or behavior distracts from the tasks at hand, leading to frequent absences and diminished productivity. 2. Job loss and academic failure. In many cases, addiction can lead to the worst-case scenarios of job loss and academic failure. Employers and educational institutions cannot indefinitely tolerate subpar performance and attendance issues stemming from addiction. The loss of a job or failure to progress in education can trigger a cascade of consequences, including financial strain and compounding the challenges of recovery. Legal issues. The desperation to feed an addiction can drive individuals to engage in illegal activities, with severe ramifications. 1. Arrests and criminal convictions. Some resort to theft, drug trafficking, or other illegal actions to finance their addiction. This can result in arrests and criminal convictions, marking individuals with a criminal record that can have enduring consequences on their ability to secure employment, housing, and more. Neglecting responsibilities. The disarray and chaos of addiction often result in the neglect of daily responsibilities, creating a disorganized and tumultuous life. This neglect can extend to various aspects of one's life. 1. Financial obligations. Addicts may overlook bills or make poor financial decisions, exacerbating their financial woes. 2. Household maintenance. Homes can fall into disrepair as individuals fail to fulfill their responsibilities for maintaining a clean and safe living environment. 3. Child and family care. Neglect of responsibilities might extend to the neglect of children and family members, affecting their well-being and the family unit as a whole.
Today, we conclude our exploration of the multifaceted and often heartbreaking world of addiction by examining the loss of self-control, the emotional turmoil it brings, and the distressing withdrawal symptoms that individuals struggling with addiction frequently endure. Loss of self-control. One of the most agonizing aspects of addiction is the profound loss of self-control. It's as if individuals find themselves trapped in a relentless cycle of cravings, indulgence, and regret. The cravings can be so overpowering that they feel impossible to resist. Despite their best intentions and the knowledge of the harm it brings, the urge is simply too strong. The loss of self-control often leads to actions individuals deeply regret, perpetuating the cycle of addiction. This aspect of addiction is a stark reminder of how it can overwhelm an individual's willpower and resilience, making quitting a monumental challenge. Emotional turmoil. Addiction is an emotional roller coaster, with intense highs and lows directly tied to the addiction itself. Feelings of guilt, shame, and self-loathing are all too common. Guilt stems from the harm addiction inflicts on oneself and those they care about. Shame can be pervasive, making individuals feel deeply flawed and unworthy. Self-loathing becomes a constant companion, eroding self-esteem and further trapping individuals in the grip of addiction. The emotional turmoil of addiction is not only distressing but can also lead to long-lasting psychological consequences, further emphasizing the need for comprehensive support and treatment. Withdrawal symptoms. When individuals are not actively using the addictive substance or engaging in the behavior, they often face withdrawal symptoms. These symptoms can be both physically and emotionally excruciating, making the already challenging process of quitting even more daunting. Physical withdrawal symptoms may include nausea, tremors, sweating, and aches, while emotional symptoms can encompass anxiety, depression, and irritability. The combination of these physical and emotional distresses can make quitting an addiction a truly formidable task.
These aspects of addiction are reminders that it is not merely a matter of choice or willpower. It is a complex and deeply ingrained challenge that affects every facet of an individual's life. Understanding these aspects is vital for both those grappling with addiction and their support networks. We must approach addiction with empathy, compassion, and a recognition that it requires professional help and support to overcome. By acknowledging these challenges, we pave the way for a more empathetic and effective approach to addiction treatment and recovery. Together, we can work towards a future where addiction's devastating grip is loosened and individuals find the help and hope they need. I hope you liked this video. Subscribe for more information. Thank you for watching.